This episode of the Patriots Postgame Show is presented by DraftKings.
This is the Patriots Postgame Show.
First down,
touchdown.
Dive to the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
With Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo.
Hand off to Stevenson. Runs it left, big hole across the 40. Cuts left at the 45. And steamrolls the defender there.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500. Or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Oh, sorry. Did you pick any of that up? Paul was standing here at... Okay,
I was putting the red zone on.
I was quoting Goodfellas as Paul was treating me like an effing jerk. I said, now I got to turn my back on you. Everyone is in a very sour mood here.
Yeah, it just kind of like sick of that same old. You know, stupidity runs amok.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Welcome into the Patriots Post-Game Show. This episode is presented by DraftKings. Patriots fall at home to the Commanders of Washington 2017. Patriots fall to 2-7 on the season. And we are here for all of it. 855-PATS-500, webradio@patriots.com for your emails. And, we'll just begin with your initial thoughts. Paul, you kind of summed it up, I think, for a lot of us. Just kind of getting tired of the same old thing with the mistakes and the problems that you're seemingly of your own creation sometimes. But I got to say, this one for me, it wasn't really even that close. You were gifted two huge plays, one at the end of the first half, the pick that Howell threw in the end zone when it looked like the Commanders were going to score to take it into the locker room, and then the roughing the passer call that essentially gave you 3 points at the start of the second half. I mean, it feels like you were about 10 points different than you should have been. This game could have very easily been more like 27-14 as opposed to the 2017 loss that you took.
Yeah, it was a weird game because, like, some of these games they've hung around and you feel like, all right, well, they're playing. I just feel like they played so bad today, and yet they still had a chance to win the game. I mean, I tie a little bit, not to toot my own horn, but I mean, I don't know where, like you said, I don't know where they would have been without those 2 turnovers and then, the big run by Ramondre. I mean, really, I think those 3 plays kind of was what made New England able to stay in the game. But just terrible coverage. Some of the third downs that they gave up were absolutely maddening. The penalty by Mac Wilson was absolutely maddening. The throw by Mac there at the end, when it's all on the line and you're thinking, all right, well, hey, Buffalo, a couple weeks ago, you've been here, you've done this. I mean, again, was getting some feeling like they were going to get a field goal there, but ultimately they fell apart there at the end. But it was just such a struggle to even make a 20-17 game. I like you said, I think they were lucky that it was that close.
I think you guys summed it up perfectly. They got not only the turnover. I mean, I think they were on the verge of another Saints game. I think it was on the verge of a 34-0 job when Brian Robinson fumbled in the middle of the second quarter. Up 10-0. Washington was rolling, moving the ball at will. I felt like that was inevitable. They were going to go down and score. Even that play was a first down run.
Yeah.
It was a play. It was like a 9-yard run. Then he fumbled. Great play by Tavai to knock the ball loose. But I totally agree with you guys. There were a couple of really important plays that all seemed to go the Patriots' way, and that got the Patriots back in the game. But 432 yards of offense they allowed. They didn't really get a whole lot until they got over 300 yards on that last drive. They were basically shut out in the second half. The only points they got was off a gift field, and then you get that call on the third down to overturn a strip sack, and then you go down the next drive. Or 2 drives later, Washington goes down the field. They have 2nd and 3rd and goal, and Duggar is just grabbing a guy by the shirt, and the referee's just standing there. I thought the Commanders were going to lose their minds. So every break imaginable went your way today, and you still found a way to make the mistakes at the end.
Yep.
Mac Wilson, Brendan Schooler, and then, an errant throw. Give the receiver some credit today. Man, they made some tough catches for him. He was not accurate today.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's as good. I totally agree with you guys.
Just looking at looking at the possession before we do. The first possession of the game, an 11-play, 45-yard drive. We know they fell short. They fourth down. And then the first play of the second half was 12 plays, 36 for the field goal. You mentioned the 15-yard penalty that was. I've never seen a roughing the passer like that one before. That one took the cake. But otherwise, the number of plays on their drives: 3, 3, 3, 2. One's a kneel. Then in the second half, 5, 5, 5, 5, and then the last one was 9. But it's just they can't string anything together offensively. And everything they got, you could pretty much tie to Ramondre's big run, one of the takeaways, or one of those big penalties.
Yeah, I absolutely gifted a couple of calls there. Now we're going to hear from Patriots fans.
What does he do there? What is he supposed to not tackle him?
We'll hear. Well, I'm sure we'll hear from Patriots fans because that's just the nature of the beast. But I'll be looking forward to the Zapruder film breakdowns of all these plays. Jonathan Jones grabbing Terry McLaurin on a bomb in the first. That might have been a touchdown. Now I think they went down and scored a touchdown anyway. But there were a lot of calls that went the Patriots' way in the first 3.5 quarters of that game.
And how many did the Commanders drop, too? How many passes were right there for the Commanders?
That's why I felt like at halftime the Patriots were leading, and I felt like they should have been down 2 scores.
Yeah.
Well, if for no other reason, Paul, the time of possession in the first half, did you guys happen to catch that?
Oh, it was crazy. It was like,
I will tell you.
22 to 8.
21:42. That was the time that the Commanders held the ball. 8:18.
Yeah. Now the only
you
thing
had the ball
about
for
that,
8 minutes 18 seconds.
And that's absolutely accurate. The only thing is the Patriots did score 2 touchdowns in drives that were under a minute.
Yeah.
So, the other team has the ball the whole time because you scored so fast. You had a short field off the Brian Robinson fumble. It was a 59-second drive for a touchdown, and then Ramondre goes 64 yards for a touchdown.
It's pretty crazy too. Like you said, the Patriots had 4 possessions in the second half. Granted, one of them was off the interception. They just kneeled on it, but none of them were more than a minute. I give a little bit of credit then, I guess, to the defense for being able to force some of those punts there at the end of the game. But yeah, it was
even then it was when Washington was making you call timeouts and hand the ball. I think they actually Riverboat Ron, I think, kind of choked at the end. I think you got to throw the ball.
Yeah.
They didn't stop a pass all day. What are you doing?
I know.
Get 2 first downs and end the game.
Yep. Can I just ask one question of you two before we continue? Because this is gnawing at me and no one addressed it that I could see online.
I hope I have an answer.
Why?
I'm really worried now.
No. If anybody knows, you guys will.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay. Why was Washington forced to wait through the injury timeout before they challenged the DeMario Douglas reception?
Yeah, we were talking about this. Now, I said to
and furthermore, before you answer, why did they have to go under the hood and answer a question that we all knew the answer to?
Oh, so we didn't.
Okay, well,
we never saw a replay.
Okay,
they never showed it on our feed in the broadcast, and my feeling was, in stadium, never put it on the big board. So I said, he must not have caught it.
Correct.
Because that's why they're not showing it, which is what you're supposed to do. In stadium, don't give the coach an extra avenue to find out. But they went to a break. Fox went to a break after this play.
Yeah.
So I don't know the specific answer to your question, Hardy.
Okay.
But that would be my guess is they never got a look at it until after that.
Or maybe it's a rule. You can't challenge and have 2 things running concurrently, the injury timeout and the challenge call. But he waited until the injury timeout was done and then threw the challenge flag. I'm like, it's just from this is just someone watching the game at home. I'd be like, can we just go? Can we do 2 things at once? Is that possible?
Split screen.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our list here. Good, the bad, and the injured. Here we go.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, guy?
Good, the bad, and the injured, brought to you by the good players, the bad players, and the injured players. We begin with Paul Perillo has a long list of goods. Just pick your best good. Your goodest good.
Okay, my
Paul.
goodest good today is Ramondre Stevenson. I thought, again, for the second week in a row, he looked like the guy that we saw last year running angry, breaking tackles. I thought he made some good catches and picked up some big, I don't know, kind of looked a little reminiscent, Mike, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, of a third down back.
There you go.
4 catches, 42 yards, a couple of those converting third downs, like that one on
Big
third
one
and 9. Right on. And, obviously the 64-yard run showed some explosiveness there. The numbers obviously are outstanding, but, they're skewed by the one long run. But nine carries for 87 yards. I just felt like he showed some of that burst. And again, for the second week in a row, breaking some tackles, yards after contact. I thought he was really good.
Totally agree. Great run. I mean, that huge run was awesome. I mean, you saw it open up right in the press box. It was like
I called it, Hardy.
You could have driven your car. You could have driven.
As soon as he handed it off, I go, he's gone. There was nobody there.
Yeah. Wow. Could have driven your big ass truck right through the middle of that thing, and nobody would have touched it.
Didn't mind giving your wide ass a ride home last week.
And let me
wasn't
let me just add,
too
because
big then, was it?
No, it's not too big.
It's a little hostility.
Well, he's making fun of my truck, and it was good enough to get him home last week.
It was big. It's big.
It's big.
It's a big hole.
On that play, I also want to shout out Cole Strange and David Andrews. You could probably see a little of it. The Commanders ran a little bit of one of those A-gap stunts where they sort of the linebackers crisscross. Yeah. And Strange in particular, I thought, did a good job of picking the guy up before he was the one that was supposed to be there. And right there, you can see Strange holding up number 52, maybe. Yeah. Jamin Davis.
Nice job by Rager there too.
Yeah, I mean that's just good stock blocking downfield. But the guys up front, this block by if Strange doesn't get out quick enough to stop that guy, that's a 5-yard gain. Yeah. Instead, it's a 64-yard touchdown. So, good job by the Patriots on that play.
So you said good job by Rager too. Do you want to put him on your good list?
But Rager,
did he have a drop in that
Rager,
game?
We're all gonna laugh at you.
And Mike is right. Rager takes a 25-yard run and he makes it a touchdown by doing his job downfield with a good stock block.
All right. Who you got for your first good there, Deuce?
I was going to Tavai, the forced fumble, just a huge play. Felt like the Commanders there were going to take one of those Patriots signature 17-0 point holes that they seem to like to fall into every week. But Tavai here with
you can see this is a big run too.
Nice punch out right off the bat.
It's a big play by Tavai.
Yep, and then Godchild, Johnny on the spot. But Tavai is one of those few bright spots that's been making some plays, and nice job by him, and a good job by the offense to finish it off with a much needed touchdown there.
Yep. I put Ryland on the list early, I suppose.
You just love to get that kicker on the list, don't you?
I do. How many more goods? How many more goods do you have?
Okay, so early in the game, I thought Dietrich Wise and Anthony Jennings did a nice job on a 3rd and 1 in the red zone.
There you go.
Stop the play down there. One of those 4-point plays, Mike. They call them in football.
That's what they call them.
Take points off the board, forcing field goals in the red zone. I know it's probably a stretch, but I had another legitimate good.
Okay.
If you guys are out.
Yeah.
No, I got another.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna put Demario Douglas.
Absolutely.
Demario popped
absolutely.
I have Demario.
He didn't have an easy catch in the game.
Nope, he didn't. And I don't know what they would have had without him, but he's one of the few players, along with maybe Ramondre, that shows some dynamic ability here for the Patriots offense. So expected him to get targeted 7 times, 5 catches, 55 yards, 11 in average, and 18 long. So good game for him. Looking for silver linings, young guys stepping up. Douglas continuing to stack some good performances.
Yeah, and I thought Douglas was better, but I also would put Juju on the list. Just, for one of his better games, he was targeted 7 times, 6 catches, 51 yards, and the one that he didn't catch by no means was on him. It was the pick in the game.
Yep.
But he had made a catch before that.
The 4th down catch was terrific.
And I'm not saying he should have caught the one that got picked. I can't believe he came down with the one before that.
The 4th and 4, absolutely, Hardy. I'm totally with you. I thought, you could start to see a little of what they were hoping to get from him today. Maybe it took all those injuries. I know that they continue to try to do the screens with him, Mike. He just doesn't have anything on these screens. But I did think that overall he had a pretty good game.
Everything behind him.
Unbelievable. C.J. Stroud just marched. Yeah, let me be a little red zone-ish. Because Tampa Bay had scored with like 30 seconds left to go up 4. And C.J. Stroud just took the Texans like 75 yards in 15 seconds.
Tank Dell
touchdown. Wow. I think that's the 5th touchdown of the day for C.J. Stroud, by the way.
They scored
wait a minute.
39 points. That's a lot of points. I don't remember ever seeing that many points on the scoreboard before.
Wait, are you allowed to do
I
that?
don't think so.
Oh yeah, it's within the rules.
The
You can
limit.
score more
Thought
than
29
30.
is the most. You don't.
Nope.
You get over 29.
I thought it
they
was
stop the
17.
game.
You're absolutely allowed to score more than 20 or so points, or even 17, as the case may be.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad we got both Demario Douglas and Juju Smith-Schuster on the good list. I think they belong there. Offensively, not a lot else.
No.
Any other defensive goods?
I want to give Jawan Bentley. I want to put him on there.
Okay.
Had a hamstring injury. Wasn't sure if he was going to even play. Ends up with 13 combined tackles, 2 sacks, one of which was big to help get him off the field. The defense was not good today. I would not put anyone from the secondary on the list with the amount of receivers downfield that were running wide open. But I thought Bentley just had a notable performance, especially with an injury, and made a couple plays that just kept the door open for them. For a little bit there in the second half when the offense just wasn't able to do much of anything.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one, Mike, because of what you said, how you said it. Like, I don't think he did anything out of the ordinary. He did make one big tackle.
Yep. Yeah.
But just the fact that he gutted it out. I mean, obviously his hamstring was bad enough that he didn't return last week.
Yeah.
And to only miss that.
And everybody said during practice early in the week he didn't really look like he was moving much, and
C.J. Stroud though, man, holy, 30 for 42 for 470 and 5 touchdowns.
Baker Mayfield's taking that one on the chin.
And they just went 6 plays, 75 yards in 40 seconds. And prior to that, Tampa had gone 10 plays, 61 yards, and 341 to take the lead on a touchdown pass by Mayfield.
He's fired up.
Tank Dell, how come we don't get guys like that? 6 for 114, a guy that everybody really liked. Dalton Schultz, 10 for 126 and a tutty. That makes me benching Cole Kmet feel a little better anyway. Okay.
I think I'm spent unless, I don't know about Duggar, but I felt kind of like that got thrown right to him.
I mean, we're on like the individual play thing.
No,
Mac,
because he's part of the secondary, and the
fine.
secondary
that's why I said I didn't have him on.
No.
Not on.
I thought Mac's touchdown. I
I'm
thought a great route by Hunter Henry on the touchdown. It was like that seam route that they had tried earlier that was just off his hand. He kind of gave a little like sluggo kind of motion, kind of faked like he was going to cut the route off short of the goal line, and then got behind and
beauty catch.
It was just it was a nice play, like right here,
Yeah,
at the 10-yard line, that little hezzy.
Little hezzy.
Yeah, that's what the kids say.
I like the hezzy.
Fred, that's what the kids call it, a hezzy. Hezzy. Fred's in the house. But I thought that was a nice play by Hunter Henry for the touchdown.
All right, let's move on to the bad list as we
geez.
will have a handful of things to get to here. Again, this episode of the Patriots Postgame Show is presented by DraftKings. Good, the bad, and the injured. On to the bads, Paul.
Ooh. Bads, the secondary, just en masse. I never saw so many receivers like 3-4 yards in the clear in an NFL game as I did today. It was, there was a significant amount of coverage breakdowns. Every time it seemed Sam Howell took the ball down and looked around,
came back to somebody.
The corner lost his guy.
Yeah.
No, throwing the ball to uncovered players.
Yeah.
Like, I think Byron Pringle had 2 catches today where he did not have a blue shirt in the vicinity. So I just thought, the biggest culprit if I had to single one guy out, I'd say was Jack Jones. I thought he really struggled. And we can get to this. I don't know. There was a strange personnel usage thing that I don't know what the reasoning is. I'll be curious to hear if Bill is asked about it. But Jack Jones and J.C. Jackson did not play the first 2 series. Jackson came in the 3rd series, and Jones came in on the 4th series, and that was about it. Then they played the rest of the game. So I don't know if they got benched for the first quarter. I don't know what's going on.
They got benched to start. I'm just going to say,
okay.
I'm going to state this as fact. They got benched to start the game. I'm sure Bill will give us the complete explanation why Jack Jones.
Look at how open these players are. Oh,
they almost ran
goodness.
into each other. That one was like, that one was funny.
I thought the guy for Washington was going to break up that pass.
Me too.
To Pringle.
I'm sure Bill will give us
this one was a killer. This one was a killer.
It's just ridiculous. That was the Keystone Cops play.
Yep.
Why Jack was covered in towels sitting on the bench, Jack Jones, during the first quarter. His teammates are sitting around him looking at tablets, and he was just not engaged. He was pouting. He was benched. He was benched.
And let me also
and we'll
say
never find out why, but
that there was this game could have easily been a lot worse had Washington not dropped several potential big plays.
Fred, do you know why?
You talking about Booty?
No, we're
No.
talking about Jack Jones and
Oh.
J.C. Jackson.
No, I don't know why. I don't know.
What was it? It was Sean Wade for like the first 2 series, but
Did
then
that
didn't he
one
play? He played pretty much the rest of the time, right? So it was
No.
kind of like a like
Jackson
you're not playing.
came in. Yeah, Jackson
Yeah.
came in on the third series,
Yeah.
and then Jones came in on the fourth series, and I saw both of those guys like throughout the rest of the game.
So it was almost
now,
like you're not
Jonathan
playing-
Jones was kind of in and out a little bit, but we know he's been
Knee.
fighting
Yeah.
something. So I
I was
don't
just
know.
thinking they were trying something. They saw right away it wasn't going to work, and they put him back.
I
in.
didn't know. I mean,
but,
to
like-
me, I'm wondering now if it's you're not playing in the first quarter
do you
because of
Yeah,
what you
like
did.
Hardy's
Like
thing,
you were late
yeah.
to something, so you're not playing in the first quarter. Like it's too weird. Anytime Sean Wade's out there, the wait along, you're like, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
We were not talking about Booty. The first part of our conversation must have got by you.
Oh. He loves that one. Just loves that
The
one.
throat clear.
Deuce.
Yeah, I have to specify the third down defense.
Thank you.
Because,
oh my God. Thank you.
numbers wise, 9 of 17, it's pretty bad. But I thought it was worse than that. And I have to highlight the 3rd and 23 that they picked up on a scramble, which not only did he get like 18 of the yards on the scramble, he then broke a tackle.
Well, that
and
was
picked
the
up an
thing.
extra 5 yards.
It'd be one thing.
Sam
if
Howell.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mike. It'd be one thing if he just sort of like squirted through and then had a break. He got like 18 or 19 yards before anybody even was near him.
Oh, and let's not forget about
Here
the
it comes.
10
Here
yards.
it comes in all its terribleness. All right, it's just I don't know. Just run for it. Oh.
Like,
Look
he's
look
legitimately-
Look at how short he is.
He picked up like 14 yards before anybody really even threatened to tackle him.
I mean, this is.
And
just,
how far behind the line of scrimmage was he?
And
When that-
Adrian Phillips and who was the other
yeah,
one?
Miles.
Miles Bryant. No, I thought it was Mills.
All right, so he's about.
I thought it was
Yeah, it's
Mills and Phillips that combined right here. Yeah, that's Mills.
Yeah.
Mills.
Yeah.
That,
He goes up high.
that was the play. I looked at you. I go, what exactly is it that he does?
That I mean, then there were.
I was
mean,
I was a little angry today.
this one takes the cake for me in this game, but there were a few others that actually were pretty good contenders for just like what I mean. The Mac Wilson one, we get to that, but this play just to me, this is unacceptable.
Unconscionable.
That's good.
I'm going to throw one in here that is, far from being at the top of the list, but I don't want it to go any further before we mention it. Tyquan Thornton.
Who?
Exactly.
Right.
Who not only, what did he have? He did have a catch. He had a catch on 4 targets. The one where he wanted the pass interference call, and he was yapping at the officials. He didn't even know the ball had been thrown to him. I mean, he was so oblivious of the play that it wasn't just it was a non-consideration. It's like what are you arguing about? You didn't even know the ball was coming your way, and to me, it was just, I guess, emblematic of a team that is looking to blame something or someone other than themselves on poor play and poor execution.
Well, this is what was weird to me about Thornton is that, he played in the first half pretty much, but 3rd and 10 they targeted him. He picked up 7. He got stopped short. Then on 4th and 3 they targeted him again, incomplete. Next possession,
that one he was open.
3rd and 5 they target him again, incomplete.
That one
and
he
then,
ran a terrible route on.
And then the next one, 3rd and 4, they went to him again, incomplete as well. So it's like 4 kind of key situations early in the game that they went to him that he couldn't come through for. He's so laboring in and out of his breaks. He's fast, but he's just so tall and high cut.
Yeah,
it's just long speed. There's no short, quick separation.
It looks like when he comes off the line, he's just not sure of where he's supposed to go.
Long strider and
tush push first quarter from their own 33-yard line.
How about
Philadelphia?
you got to hit that.
J.C. Jackson, by the way, I'm not talking.
Oh,
He told reporters waiting for him in his locker. Jackson didn't enter the game until the 3rd defensive series.
Okay.
I'm not talking.
There must have been some disciplinary thing.
Perfect.
yeah. What's stuck in your craw? What's right at the top of your craw, Fred, that you need to unstick for the bad list?
Well, I mean, you already talked about the tackling overall, and I don't think it's from a lack of effort, but just these guys aren't using their fundamentals. They're flying at guys and just missing. They're overrunning, taking bad angles. Just sloppy tackling overall. You guys mentioned 3rd down defense. They're not, I think Barmore is getting good push up front. I think they're getting good push, but no one's finishing. I mean, Wise had one, but they're not finishing. They're letting, Thurston Howell run all over the place. So it's just not disciplined, undisciplined defense, undisciplined special teams. And I think, Mac had an up and down day, but there was some plays there to be had, and he just missed them.
I missed the up part. I'm not going to lie.
No,
he's firmly on my down
He had
list
some pretty
today.
good. He had some good
He
throws.
had a great throw to Rager that he dropped.
Yeah.
I'd be hard pressed to find 3 or 4 other really good throws. I thought his receivers are going to need chiropractic work after this game. Some of the catches that they made for him today were really amazing.
It's the falling away.
It's the
So
falling
much of
away,
the falling away.
and a couple of those, crunch time down in the fourth quarter when you could have actually picked up some yards and stopped the clock.
That's wide open NFL. That's as open as the Washington guys were today.
No, it's a bad throw.
that was
a throwaway. But
Whoopsie.
I thought, the deep ball to Rager, he gave Rager every opportunity to make a catch.
Clap,
Some of
clap,
the slants,
clap,
even the ones that were caught, were like back shoulder. You don't want slants on your back shoulder. You know you're going to get hit. You don't want to be getting exposed. The 4th and 4 that Juju caught was one of those way behind him. Douglas,
they just showed the Thornton one where
They
he
didn't even
wanted
know
to
the
play.
ball was there.
No,
Douglas had
no.
made a similar catch earlier in the game where he was sort of like flat on his back, going the wrong way, having to catch it with his hands because if the ball hits the ground, it's probably going to be incomplete.
And not that he, was great before, but that hit that he took from the blind side, that shook him up. He wasn't right, at least for a few plays after that.
I thought he was hurt for a second there.
Yeah.
But some of those passes to the sideline where it's like if you stick them in there, those especially Hunter Henry, he can come down with that catch.
Yep.
He can get out of bounds. He can stop the clock. But instead, he's floating them and he's allowing defenders to get into position, make plays, and they're
He just can't drive the ball into
that.
And this is
That's it.
this is
That's
another
it,
call,
Paul.
by the way. Watch this. Rager just tackles him. That's a pick. But Rager grabbed his arm, so it saved it. That saves 3 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big play by Rager right there. That's why Matt. It just wasn't a good day for Mac.
All right, so we've got Mac, we've got third down lack of efficiency, we've got the secondary. Anything else that we need specifically?
What did you
to
guys
point
think
out?
about the play calling? Because I heard a lot, Bill O'Brien's calling a terrible game. I just, with all the open guys and missed plays, how can you call them bad play calls?
The only one
You just got to execute.
There was a third. There was a 3rd and long in the second half.
Called the wide receiver screen?
Yes, the screen to Juju.
Yeah.
I thought that play I think was a great call. And Fred, you said it right. This play is there. He makes Ramondre stop, turn around,
Right.
and the guy I think it's Davis for Washington. Give him credit. He gets a hand on it.
And people disagree, but the play before that was short too. That Douglas had
the
to
one that
contort.
got overturned.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He just didn't. The deep ball to Rager, he gives Rager a chance to. I don't think this is the one.
No.
The deep one to Rager, he gave Rager every opportunity to make a big play, and Rager couldn't come up with it. But beyond that, I didn't think he had a lot of really accurate throws in this game. And usually that's his calling card. And this is what I think Hardy's talking about. He just can't drive that ball there.
Right.
It just takes too long.
That is exactly the type of play we're talking about, and that is. I remember that one too. I'm not sure. Some of these, after the play is over, you think, I don't know what he was doing. Oh no.
Yeah, Gesicki kind of gave up. I don't think he expected the ball to go there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just it's just not a good football team right now.
So and then we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the comedy of errors on tough teams cover punts, as somebody on Twitter
that's
pointed out a little while ago. But the last two Washington punts featured penalties by Brendan Schooler, who's supposed to be one of your special team stalwarts. One of them a face mask of all things. That allowed the Patriots to take over, inside their 10 twice, which is not ideal. A terrible punt return by Douglas on the first one, goes backwards and ends up getting tackled at the 5, or the one before that. That was like the last 3 punts. And then obviously you get an offside on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
What do you do? You don't need to block the punt here. Just go down.
The hard work is done.
Set up you commit with the stop, set up the return, and then go down and tie the game.
They
with a
had 2
field goal.
penalties on it too.
And he gets called, and Mac Wilson, not Mac Jones, Mac Wilson gets called for being offside. the special teams nonsense is going on for now 2+ years. It's really, for a team that invests the time and money on special teams, to be making these penalties and mistakes every single game is maddening.
Yep.
Anything else? We got it?
Get it.
Let's get
Good.
it. Injuries?
I didn't register any.
I didn't register a single one.
Never not one.
I think you're going to see.
I didn't
Thornton,
write anything down.
Well, Thornton, he's already on the injury report, but
You think that's why he didn't play much after that?
that's what they'll say.
You could be right.
Yeah.
Maybe he aggravated the foot.
I know that they had like 5 people looking at him before the game, and they gave him the green light. But he's on thin ice when it comes to injuries.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the phones here. 855-PATS-500, webradio@patriots.com. If you'd like to email this episode of the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by DraftKings. We begin with David in New York. David, you're on with, everybody. Go ahead, David. What do you got?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
So I got to ask, how does that feel watching C.J. Stroud throw for almost 500 yards? When we've got a guy like Mac, and I'm not gonna not blame the defense for the game, but you got to have a better quarterback than what we've seen. And how many wide receiver ones, how many top 10 receivers does C.J. Stroud have?
Yeah.
Stroud? Yeah, probably very similar skill guys as the Patriots.
Yep.
Right?
Making
Who was it?
Yeah.
Nico, what's the guy's
Nico
name?
Collins. Yeah,
Nico
he's big.
Collins.
He was good this preseason.
Tank Dell's been an impressive rookie, but a rookie. He's like Demario Douglas.
Yeah.
They got Dalton Schultz as a tight end. Is he any better than Hunter Henry? He's probably a similar player, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little better. I don't know. But it doesn't make me feel any worse that Stroud. I mean, Stroud was the number 2 pick in the draft. Like, he's a good player.
I'm just saying that as like a counter to the point of like, you don't need a great quarterback. You don't need a good quarterbacks, whatever, that sort of thing. I think you just need to, at this point, upgrade. And I don't know what the fascination is with keeping Mac, but like, I don't know. I have not liked what I've seen from him.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
Could you?
You have to be completely honest here. A better quarterback, do they win this game today? So everything else being the same.
Yes. If you can score more than 17 points, you win.
But does a better quarterback score more than 17 today?
Probably.
Everything else being equal.
Probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you, Freddie.
David, thank you.
As I often have wanted to do. That's want with an O.
I think so.
WONT,
we're not talking about Tom Brady.
No.
We're not talking about just a better quarterback.
Yeah.
I know we like to do this because for some reason, Patriots fans in particular just cannot give Tua any credit for anything. We like to say if you switch quarterbacks last week, Miami still would have won the game, right? Well, if you switch quarterbacks today, the Patriots would have won the game.
Right.
Well,
and that was Sam Howell.
Yes, that was I think a common refrain. It's like, hey, would you take Sam Howell over Mac Jones right now?
No.
Today?
Yes, during the game. That's of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you?
I wouldn't want either for my quarterback, but for today, Howell was the better quarterback.
I mean,
well, going forward for the rest of the season, and you're going to have one for another year. Who do you want, Mac Jones or Sam Howell?
I don't care. Yeah. You're not going to win with either one of them.
I think Fred has the right answer. Yeah. I think Fred has the right answer. But as long as I'm biding my time until I can get a guy that I think I might be able to win with, I'd rather have Sam Howell. I think he's a better player.
Yeah.
But I think Fred's right. I don't think you're ever going to go anywhere with Sam Howell.
No, I don't think so
Although
either,
he is still really young, and maybe some of that because he made a handful of really bad plays today.
Yeah.
And maybe those can get beaten out of him a little bit.
All right. How about cousin Patty in Agawam? What's up, Pat?
What's up, Jim?
How we doing?
Doing all right. Fred, I think if we have a good quarterback, we probably have a winning record. We might have won that Philly game in week 1. But regardless, Paulie, I think if I'll make a point about Tua. Remember in 2020, first win against the Patriots, he basically had all the same weapons that we have right now. And,
he did it with Gesicki and Devontae Parker and Brian Flores. It wasn't the scheme, it wasn't the personnel, and he still beat you. But for some reason, everybody thinks he stinks.
But he got the win, and that's all that counts. And we need to do something, even if it's like I said, just signing a stopgap guy in the off season, because I don't know about you guys, I'm not really crazy about any of the quarterbacks coming out, with maybe the exception of Penix. I think he looks the best of the bunch.
It's
but
funny. I actually think all of them look really promising.
Yeah.
I think Williams, Penix, May. You know, I could even be talked into some of the like you know who I really like is the LSU kid.
Yeah.
In the second round.
I have no idea who that is.
Florida State game.
Daniel, what's his name?
Is it Jaden Daniels?
Yeah,
Am I
he's
thinking?
small though. Isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's not going to be a first round pick because of that.
Yeah.
And I have a question too about the roughing the passer on the Patriots field goal drive. Did they call that right? Because when they threw the flag and they called it, I'm like, what did I miss?
No, that was not a roughing the passer.
Fred had the broadcast on, and you were telling him what were they saying?
They said it was a bad call. You know.
Yeah.
They said he still had the ball. How can that be roughing the passer?
Well, I mean, it can be roughing the passer on a set. Now,
right.
I tell you, I would like an amendment to the rule, like no roughing the passer on an actual sack unless a guy gets hit in the face.
Yeah.
Now, like if it's a headshot, then you can call it. But
what about knee shot?
So I think that's ridiculous. That rule, the knees. I really do.
What is Blandino saying in this clip too? Is he
Well,
trying
Fred,
to like?
No, Fred said it was a terrible call.
He said it shouldn't have been roughing the passer.
Yeah, I haven't seen one that bad.
What I'm sure they were what they saw on the field or what they were trying to justify was that he used his body weight to drive him into the
But he
ground.
really didn't. Which is exactly the opposite
Watch
of what
how
happens.
he slides over him.
Yeah, and he uses his hands to make sure he doesn't land on him and goes right over him. But my point is, these poor defensive players, I don't know how they play. The idea is to get the guy with the ball on the ground, right? You can't grab the nameplate. You can't hit him low. You can't make any contact with his face mask. You can't do anything, and then you tackle a guy like that, and it's still a penalty.
Yep.
I think that they need to really readdress that. They haven't gotten it right, and that's it's really and that play happens every week. That's not a bad call today. There's one of those every week. At least one in every game where it's a horrifically bad pass interference, roughing the passer call.
All right. I appreciate it, Pat. Thanks for the call. Go to Donnie in Rochester, New Hampshire on the Patriots postgame. What's going on, Donnie?
Well, just another demoralizing loss, of course. It's hard to just watch Mac Jones go out there every week.
By the way, good on Juju Smith-Schuster, but taking all the responsibility on the game-winning pick.
Yep.
The game-losing pick, I should say.
Well, he should have. It was right on his hands.
It wasn't a great throw, Fred. But it hit him in the hands. It's way out in front of him.
It was a lot like the last reception he had made, and we all said, "Wow, what a catch!"
No, this one's out in front of him, not behind him. He has a chance to make a play on this one, but you see, that's just out in front of him a little bit.
Yeah, that's right where it's got to be.
But I got to give him credit. He takes all the responsibility. I don't think this pass is getting completed very often in the NFL, to be honest.
And again, I'm sorry, Donnie, I don't mean to cut you off. I'll let you go in a second. But on the broadcast, whoever the second voice was, Deuce and I couldn't figure it out today, but he said he was looking at the rest of the field, and
on
he
Fox,
said
it was Kenny Albert, I think, and Jonathan Vilma.
Okay.
Oh, Vilma.
Shannon Spake on the sidelines.
Yes.
Vilma was adamant about this. He said, you don't have to make that throw. You have other options.
That's my point. Like, you got a guy draped all over you, and he's got to dive and catch it with two hands out from his body. Yes. Can he catch it? Yeah. Yeah. And I give Juju all the credit in the world for taking responsibility, because that's what you do. Unlike Devontae Parker, who put it on, I don't know what, it hit my fingertips. The ball hit Juju in the hands. He should have caught it. Oh. And that's what good receivers do. That's what good players do, teammates do. So I agree with you guys on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead, Donnie.
So great. Juju Schuster made a great catch. The play before that, pick up first down. When he's seldomly used, obviously. But the problem with Mac, there's all kinds of problems with Mac. But first of all, most of the receivers are probably shocked that the ball is even close to them half the time. So, the fact that Juju missed that last one, and yes, he maybe could have made the call, but he was definitely outstretched for it. Mac he's just not a gamer. He has no sense of urgency. He looks at the primary receiver, and that's pretty much it. He misses people downfield. It's like a deer in the headlights for this guy.
Well, he certainly doesn't see the field very well at times, and he missed some open guys today, and that's been something that's been going back, even last year with the offense, running as poorly as it did last year. He has a tendency to not see some open receivers, and I don't know.
I'm just sick of taking he had that one throw, he had this, you're just stringing together a few plays that he made throughout every game we do this.
And more often than not, they're incompletions. It's like, oh, he had that one to Parker.
Right.
Oh, he got that, but he had Rager.
Listen, it really is. It's the only guy that I've really seen who consistently gets credit for incompletions. And I said
it right there.
I said today to Mike and Evan, and I go, this, the good news for Mac is this will buy him 4 weeks of goodwill with the fans because he put that one right on Rager's hands too, suddenly it'll become a catch. It'll become a completion.
All right, moving along. We'll go to Eric in New Jersey. This episode of the Patriots Postgame is presented by DraftKings. Eric, what's up?
I remember I called in pregame and I was asking about the advantage that Bill brings to this team. Yeah. Again, you guys harped on it in the beginning, special teams.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed today to come up with those reasons.
Money on special teamers, and this is the product that we get. And again, Mac Jones 1-14 after trailing at any point after the first quarter, just not enough. And then you have Miles Bryant, which is officially graded the worst grade in coverage at 13.6. I mean, this team is in shambles. This was a game that you had every break. You mentioned it, Paul. You had every chance.
They got a lot of. I mean, Fred and I were sort of
they should have won the game.
Yeah, they absolutely should have won the game. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, based on the way that game was officiated, how you lost it, I have no idea. I'm being Fred. You and I were literally laughing about it during the game. That play happened right in front of us, where Douglas just reached out and grabbed Logan Thomas, I think, his shirt coming up, and he got it. You can't even say it was uncatchable. He got a hand on it.
Yeah,
and they were so incredulous.
In the end zone.
Yeah.
Well, it was first half they didn't want to throw a flag, and then all of a sudden,
start throwing them.
Yeah.
Like cops writing tickets at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Webradio at patriots.com if you'd like to email us. Are you guys going to see Stefan near Frankfurt, Germany?
I hope so.
Next week. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Let's go. Stefan.
Yes.
There
have a little
only
meetup.
4 penalties on both teams. 4 for 30. They didn't start calling the penalties.
Well, they don't call offside that much anymore either, especially on left tackles.
That's the only penalties that got called in the Patriots, the ones you had to call.
Well, I mean, but even the left tackles on both sides, it's and that's something you see throughout the league. It's I guess you're allowed just to stand up and start moving
to get
backwards.
the early start.
Fred told me one of the third downs that in the first half that Washington got stopped on, Wise, what you said, Wise was offside?
Wise, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he
those
jumped.
Those are generally the plays that get called, false starts, offside. You don't miss a lot of those.
They're kind of obvious. Stefan says, it's official. The Patriots are going to be a 4-win team at best. And even the 2 games against the Colts and Jets will be nail-biters. The other games are going to be lopsided losses.
I'm not sure the Jets is going to be.
The Jets.
For our favorite football team.
Colts and Giants.
But I can't see how BB can remain the head coach with such a record. The only way for him to stay in New England would be if Belichick and Kraft got together and decided the only way forward would be to tank for the number 1 pick. Goodbye, Stefan.
Well, listen.
Hopefully you will see next week.
2-7. The players are going to be tough.
10-7's in play.
It's in play.
No, but it's going to be tough.
Is 10-7 not in play?
It's in play, but it's going to be hard. Yeah.
It won't be.
I'm sorry,
I agree with you. It won't be easy.
I didn't mean to have our comedy routine derail the show.
No, not at all. This is what the people sign up for.
Fred and I have a little thing that after every loss, one of us texts the other and says, whatever the amount of losses they have, that's still 11-6 is still in play.
Still in play.
Yes. After the Miami game.
That's it.
Right.
It's the last game they're going to lose all
year.
You
dropped the first game of the season, 16-1.
How about Miami, though? They still haven't beaten a good team.
Absolutely. We talked about that a little in the pregame show.
Weird.
Tony Hatchman, Potton, UK. Hi, guys. Love the shows. Wish I started listening to them before this season. Oh, this is your first season listening? Delete.
Oh, jeez.
On to the next one. Now, bear with me as I'm going to talk football, soccer. Oh, this is a double delete. You know what, Tony? Try better next time. All right. Last chance. 5 or 6 years ago, somebody left Arsenal. He was the coach from Arsenal. He was given a great send-off, which he deserved. Bill needs to do the same. His time is over. Came to a natural end, but it just happens. Okay, now we're talking about the type of send-off that Bill would get.
Well, you're looking for the elegant finish, you know.
Do you want a storybook type of ending? You're not getting it.
Yeah.
Unless they go on some kind of a run and still miss the playoffs and they're still forced to fire him. But he has a couple of nice wins toward the end.
What coach had that? Was it Bill Walsh? Maybe.
Bill Walsh won a title. Yeah. This last year.
And then it was a graceful exit.
He retired.
Yeah.
Did it on his terms.
Then Seifert won it the next year.
Yep.
I mean, do you think
Larry Brown?
Do you think Bill wants to keep going? Like, do you think that he's like gung ho about we'll just make a couple tweaks? Do you think there's any part of him to like? This
I do
is
think
just
he
too
wants
much
to
of a
keep
mess.
coaching. I don't know what he really thinks about this, though. To your point, I think
Yeah.
that's what you're really asking. Like,
Yeah.
Does he really think he can do this, fix this?
Yeah.
Because I think they're, like someone said. I think Patty said, like, if they had a good quarterback, they could be, 500. I think they're a heck of a lot closer to 0-9 than they are a winning record.
Scott in Maryland says there's something fundamentally wrong with the team. No talent, no leadership, no chance.
I think a catchy T-shirt.
I think they're both strong, but not necessarily inaccurate. I think we can all agree the rosters. I mean, did you see players that looked like the Washington players today in space?
No.
Aside from Ramondre Stevenson.
Well, I was going to say, to me, the most glaring difference was the receivers.
Yeah.
Like, their guys with speed were getting open. Everything is hard for the Patriots. Like Juju Smith-Schuster, he must be thinking, I came from Kansas City where when I caught a ball, sometimes I was open. And here, everything is hard.
Like that 20-yard crosser that he caught, I think it was the play before Ramondre's 64-yard touchdown run. It was two plays.
Okay.
So 20-yard crosser to Juju and then the 64-yard touchdown. And that was the first play that kind of looked like,
Right.
That's a Kansas City thing. Like,
Right.
Kelsey must have 3 guys on him over there.
Right.
Even that catch right there. Did you see him have to stop, jump, contort back?
Yeah.
Right. Not just look, boom, it's right there, and you're taking off.
Mason, who is in. Wow. Make you happy,
He was
Fred?
having a good show, too.
Wouldn't be
Fred.
a hearty show.
Yeah, he was having a good show, too.
Neil in Maryland is going to give us the best phone call we've had in weeks to get things right back where they should be. Hello, Neil. Welcome to the program.
Guys, how you doing?
Really good.
That was the worst Patriots game I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
Great call so
Have
far.
you been watching this year?
Did you see Dallas and New Orleans?
Yeah.
Every game gets worse. And I just have one question. When are we going to burn the place down?
Okay.
When is Bill going to go? Just start
Well, I work here, sir, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, for everybody who's impatient in that respect, whatever happens, you're going to have to wait till the end of the season. It's not going to happen in mid-season. I just don't. I've heard somebody say, all right, just say they parted ways. Now, that wouldn't be fair to Gerard Mayo if he was going to be the interim coach. You're saddling him with this, and
I don't see it. I mean, back to Paul's point of there's talent shortage, but it also just feels like nobody's really buying into the culture right now, and that feels like it's requiring even bigger
Not
changes.
even the fans.
Yeah,
That's a good hit in the Carolina Indy game.
Oh, Red Zone Paul.
nobody can see it, Paul.
It drew I'm sure they're all watching, Fred.
What if I'm just playing devil's advocate
Okay,
here.
spitball.
Go ahead.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
They're 2-10.
I'll allow.
Yeah,
They're 2
Yeah.
and 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
Things are bad.
Bad.
The mood is the vibe is bad in the locker room. Everything is bad.
You've lost to Indy, you've lost to the Giants, and now you just lost to the Chargers.
You got 5 games left.
Boom.
Bill walks into Robert's office and said, "I'm done. My heart's not in this. This isn't working."
That's easy then.
Yeah.
What if, and just to your point about Gerard, assuming he is the guy, make Bill O'Brien the interim head coach for the rest of the season?
I don't know what to think.
I don't know.
Yeah, why
Johnny
would you do
Dangerously.
that?
I thought he
That's
was
true.
I thought he was pitching a movie, and
No,
what
no,
if you
no,
put
no.
a kid in there?
And that
He's
way-
the seventh
and that
guy
way-
who's going to coach the team for the rest of the year. It'll be crazy.
What if
And that
Pop
way you-
Douglas is the guy?
That way you don't put Gerard at a disadvantage by making him coach a team that's
well,
already
you'd
lost
have
the
to
season
explain
for the
that
last
to
5
him,
games.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Watch
Sure.
this hit, guys. What do you think? I think maybe Hardy's when they
Well,
can
do you
see
think
it.
it's like the Raiders with Antonio Pierce? Like in those situations, do you feel like it's a real audition, or is it more just like let's get a former player kind of guy, and have him be the figurehead for a while. But this isn't really going to
I
be.
I personally don't think of it as an audition, but maybe you're right.
I never think
Maybe
of the
that is what
interim
it
as
is.
being
No.
a guy who has a
I don't
legitimate
either.
shot at the
well,
job.
even the last guy at the Raiders made the playoffs. What, Rick Bisaccia?
Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia?
Yeah, he did. He dug him out of the hole, and they made the playoffs and had every opportunity to win
Jeff Saturday?
the playoff game. Now, obviously, he was a train wreck, but
But yeah, to his credit, he had never coached football before.
at any level.
What if they let?
So we had that
It's like one of the
going for
Air Bud movies. What if they let a dog coach the team for the last 5 weeks? Are you with me?
Chris in California, what's going on, Chris?
Bringing in a soccer coach to coach American football.
It's going
is
to be
it little-
wacky.
How about Bruce Arena?
Is it
Yeah, there you go.
Is it Little Big League? Is that the one with
Right.
the kid?
Rick Moranis? That one?
No, that's
No.
Little Giants.
Oh, sorry.
But Little Big, I did the little kid coaches the Minnesota. He's like the manager of the Minnesota Twins.
Chris has been on for
one of those
40
situations.
seconds. He hasn't had a chance to speak yet. Yes,
Yeah,
Chris?
no worries.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, I just want to talk about. I get that Mac Jones is not a franchise quarterback. That's perfectly fine. If that's the sentiment everyone has, and if you get a top 5 pick, take the best one on the board. Got it. If you watched that game and said he's the problem, are we watching the same games? Like, he throws a pass on the hands on second down to put him in field goal range, and it's a bad pass. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, first of all,
No, I think we said he made some good. I said he made some good passes today, but not enough, and he also made some bad passes.
okay, listen.
He did. I'm not saying he's a great guy. He's a franchise quarterback.
Listen,
You need to keep
if
him,
he
but
let's just say for argument's sake that Juju makes that catch, which would have been about the 6th ridiculously difficult catches receivers made for him today. How does that change his game?
you're in field goal range.
Well,
you're at the 28-yard line.
No, that changes the
with
game.
30 seconds left.
Okay, so that changes the outcome of the game. How does that change his performance?
Right.
Like, wins
I'm
and
not
losses
saying
right
he
now
played a
don't
great game.
matter.
He
You're
played a
2-7.
good enough game to win. He played a good enough game, and he made.
He
some
played a
great
terrible
throws. He also
game.
made some great throws.
Like, this is I can't do this because people
he
can't.
threw a 50-yard bomb to Rager that just went right through his hand.
Okay, and he threw one about 8 miles behind Demario Douglas that he twisted in the air, fell down, and caught it 8 miles behind him. So, like, they all even out. Like, they ran 64 yards for a touchdown. Like, one carry, 64-yard touchdown run. He had nothing to do with it. So, like,
But then when
he
he
did
makes
not
the
play
good
well in the
throw.
game. Like, it's pretty simple.
Chris, I have to agree with Paul on this one, and it's not just the balancing act of the two. You look at even what Sam Howell was able to do,
And they're
today.
doing it
when
again.
When he's
33-yard line, all of a sudden we're in like chip shot field goal range.
when
like
Matt
if the guy caught it, like everybody adds like 15 yards to the drop passes.
I know. When Matt gets flushed out of the pocket, do you think, oh, maybe he'll pick up 8 or 10 with his feet? Do you ever think that's even a plausible scenario? With Howell today, I'm thinking, like, this guy's going to get another first down. I mean, you don't have to be Josh Allen or the second coming of him, but show me that you have the ability. We were watching Patrick Mahomes do it all day today, too.
On
like
4th
guys
and
are
4, he threw a
athletic and
pass.
can do things.
He threw a pass way behind his target on 4th and 4. Juju completely parallel to the ground, backwards.
Yeah.
Reaches back and catches the ball.
Yeah.
If this is incomplete, what are we saying? Is that like, look at this catch? Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's the kind of catch that you saw consistently today. So, yes, Rager dropped one that Mac put on his hands. Yep, he did. He did. He was like 24 for 44 passes for 220 yards.
5 yards.
By the way, you were 2 yards away from going 6-0 and over under.
I was just realizing that, actually.
Would have been amazing.
Did he really throw for 220 yards and the over-under was 221
and a half.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who had the
If,
under?
if Juju catches that, it's over.
That's all right. I'll take it.
And then maybe Ryland could have made like a 55-yard field goal, and it would have been an overtime. I don't know.
And then Mac was on the up list.
John, you're on this episode of the Patriots Postgame Show brought to you by DraftKings. He's in Miami. He's got something on Ramondre Stevenson. Yes, John?
Howdy. Very quickly on Mac, I just have to say, peace and love to the Mac Jones defenders and apologists, but this is not the game to come out of the woodwork on that. I thought Mac had time on a bunch of dropbacks, and then he just floated.
Couldn't agree with you more. I thought the offensive line was actually pretty solid today.
One sacked, was he?
Yeah, and what I called about is that wheel route to Ramondre Stevenson.
Another one.
That
Another
he
horrific throw.
lollipopped that ball on. That hurt my feelings. I was sitting there like, damn.
Oh. Daniel Jones just died.
Yeah.
Non-contact.
John, thanks for the call.
When do we play the Giants, Fred?
It was more so.
And there it is. It's unbelievable.
2 weeks.
This is
Tommy
what happens.
DeVito. You'll get see three wins is in play.
He's got
Fred.
time. He's got 3.
Jake
weeks.
Delagado.
Oh no, I think this might be
Danny Jones.
This was a non-contact.
He hurt
So
you.
the Mac thing, okay.
Hmm?
A couple of weeks ago against Buffalo, we all sat here and we said that was a really, really good performance, right? Did anybody say but?
No.
Oh, that wasn't this good. It wasn't as good as you thought. So when you take a game that he plays really well like that, and you try to say there were any similarities between what he did today and that, like this is why the anti-Mac crowd is swelling. I will grant you that. He still has all the excuse machine in the world, but when you play like today, 24 for 44, based on where they throw the ball, he should never have a completion percentage like that. They never throw the ball downfield. So you should never have a 24 for 44
Well, they
day.
did today, to be fair.
What, 3 times?
No, a little bit more than that. Come on.
I'll bet you they didn't have more than 3 passes that traveled more than 20 yards.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It seems that way to me.
We need to step aside for a moment.
Like
we will
non-contact.
hear from both the head coach and quarterback, presumably, but that'll be coming up along with more of your phone calls and the emails. This episode of the Patriots Postgame Show, not only presented by DraftKings, but brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories made in Mass, no matter how you choose to make them, indoors, outdoors, scenic views, city vibes, solo or family style. Whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com.
Touchview Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, Touchview also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Touchview Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, Touchview also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half a one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
If I knew that Deuce was rich, and I mean like rich, hundreds of millions of dollars,
You'd respect me a little bit more.
I know. I would think you were very attractive.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
And he's not bad looking now.
Not rich.
Just just being moderately wealthy.
Nah. I'm getting by.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
It's fine.
I
Money's the root of all evil.
I looked you up on Celebrity Net Worth, and I got to say, I was impressed.
I was going to do one of those cameos for you, but,
No, please.
Big pay upgrade.
We will hear from both Bill Belichick and Mac Jones. Just a few more minutes here. We're going to get to more of your phone calls, as many emails as we can. There are hundreds, but, we'll get to as many as we can. We'll start with Washington, D.C., though, and that's just so much fun for Fred Kirsch.
Line
3.
I love it.
That's line 3.
Washington,
I
D.C.?
love it.
It's line
Is
3.
the commander guy calling in to flex his muscles?
Maybe. Instead, we'll go to Milkman in Oakland, California. Milkman? Milkman?
Time to push away, Hardy.
He's curdling.
Well,
Yeah? That was pretty cheesy.
Maybe it's Maybe it's Milkman.
he was gone off the screen so quick it went past your eyes.
Yeah, we've soured.
Went past your eyes.
I get it.
It went by you.
We're having fun.
Spee in Fresno never hangs up early. Hi, Spee.
I wonder if Milkman was frothing at the mouth after that game.
We've soured on him.
Somehow they're getting worse.
It's just bad.
No
that
use
guy
crying
Chris
over
who
it.
called before, apologizing for Mac. Yes, we were watching two different games, you and me. I was watching the one on television, not in your rose-tinted imagination. Mac was he was bad today, and I got frustrated by that guy calling because the guy brought up Rager missing the pass, the bomb down the field, right?
Yeah, absolutely
Rager
valid.
Is also the reason, but Rager is also the reason why Mac didn't throw an interception. Rager turned into a defender and stopped that terrible
that's true.
pass
Yeah.
right into the. Remember that one?
Yeah, and you could argue he certainly didn't deserve a pick. The throw, we put it on the hands, the outstretched hands of Juju. But
It sounds like you guys are Mac throws intolerant.
Yeah, I just.
Wow.
You could just see that one just came to him. Did you see his eyes light up?
Yeah, he's like me. He's
That
like,
came
Joke
to
of the
him.
day. Can I
It
give you the key?
starts to brew, and
Can
then
I
it-
give you the key
Yeah.
now?
From you're suddenly like Jackie the Joke Man.
Yeah.
But overall in the game, it's he just did not have a lot of accurate balls today. He didn't.
I just get ticked off when people pay attention to some details and not others. This is not a very comprehensive thing. See what you want to see.
First
or
time
watch
watching a game with
game.
Patriots fans? I mean, I had about 16 like Zapruder films last week of the officiating. I'm going to guess I'm not going to get any of those this week.
No.
Paul's algorithm is so screwed up on social media. All it does is feed him things that make him mad.
Oh, yeah.
From people that
I know.
Mike is so right. From people I don't follow. I don't know how they get in my feed.
It's like Fred Toucher getting the jam band stuff about the Grateful Dead and Fish. It's like,
half
why
of
is
the-
this showing up?
Half of the people on Paul's feed is like Strawman 10002345.
Right.
You're so right. You're so right. I don't know how I get them.
Alex in Canada, you're on the Patriots postgame this episode presented by DraftKings. Hello, Alex.
Hold on, guys.
Well,
sure, take your time.
At this point, I kind of want to agree with Spee here. First things first. I don't know what the guy from California was talking about. I didn't see anything good from Mac. Haven't seen anything good from Mac since that Buffalo game, that last drive. But especially today, after watching it, I don't even know, is there anything that, us Patriots fans can actually go into a game and look forward to? Because it's so grim, and I don't like to be a downer, but what is there to even look forward to?
I hear you.
I said in the pregame, I think,
Alex.
Mike, you said the same thing. I'm looking at guys like Douglas. I'm looking at young players and seeing if they can emerge and trying to figure out, Keon White, Marty Marpu, and I'm not going to lie. Some of these, some of the glimpses that I've seen from some of these guys haven't been promising, but Douglas has been.
I think I see things from Barmore that gives me hope for him.
Yeah, what I worry about with him, Freddie, I totally agree with you. By the way, I have a crush on him.
Yeah,
one more year.
Next year, he'll be a free
Right.
agent, and then
that's
what?
the problem.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys talked about it, but I was looking forward to maybe seeing Butte in this game. And there's no joke coming. I know. Hardy's looking at me like, "What's wrong?"
I'm showing remarkable restraint.
That
no,
opportunity
but for some reason he was inactive after Bill said he had his best week of practice since he's been here.
Yeah, I agree. I had said in the pregame, why not everybody?
Right.
Like,
So we
Thornton,
were talking about it, myself and Evan Lazar, and he had that comment this week where he said, "I'm frustrated with my playing time." I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, no, he talked about his playing time.
We're thinking
that's enough.
That's why he didn't play, and that is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, like Felger and Maz like to say, let's not get him in trouble for something we don't know that they did.
Right.
But Bill has done some things. Remember, go way back to the beginning of the dynasty with Matt Light. Remember he told us all he's starting. Who didn't start?
Right.
Matt Light.
And
like why?
Yeah.
I want a guy in my team who wants to play and is frustrated when he's not playing. I don't like. I thought it was a pretty hard. Like, I don't know if that's why he didn't play.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was kind of weird that Bill said he had his best week of practice,
right?
And then he doesn't play.
And then a guy who was banged up in practice on Friday did, in Thornton,
and only lasted the first quarter.
Yeah. So I was looking forward to that, and
you didn't
get it.
No booty. No booty for you.
Kat in Chicago. Hi, Kat.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Kat.
Hi, Kat. Where you been?
What's going on?
Oh, I'm around. I'm just busy, little kids and.
Oh yeah. How's the house?
You still living in your Chicago mansion?
We're about to add an addition.
Oh, that's
another
awesome.
one. Wow. Any secret doors or anything?
Building, guys.
Yeah.
Always building.
Nice.
So, I want to say thank you. Number one, because I yelled so loud when somebody called in and said that Mac was a great quarterback. And thank you, Paul. I love you.
Yeah,
because
thanks.
I yelled so loud that I'm driving with my mom down to Florida, and I woke the dog up. And the whole car was in, chaos. And then I yelled again when you guys said, "Do you want Billy O as the head coach?" No.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Yeah, that would just be.
That
like
would just be for this year.
Yeah,
but
if for some reason Bill decided to step down or something like that, we would just sort of figure it
It's
out.
not happening. I mean, he is nowhere near. Anybody who thinks that Mac is a good quarterback, we shouldn't be surprised. For years, people called in saying that Brady wasn't good enough. He's lost his touch. I don't know why, but people do not know good quarterback play when they see it, or vice versa. But no, Billy O is not Belichick is. And I have a theory that because the team hasn't been doing well this year, maybe Bill told Robert, hey, I'll step back, let Billy call some more plays. Let Billy do more of the work. Sure, you can test it out. Well, guess what? Maybe that's not working out. That's my theory, at least. I don't know.
All right,
But-
Kat. Well, drive carefully. Thanks for
Yeah, a
checking
lot
in.
of people on the
Congrats
blog.
on the house, too.
A lot of people on the blog were on Bill O'Brien today. They didn't think he called a good game. I don't know. I
just wonder what he's supposed to do.
I just don't know
what is he supposed to
This
do?
is just one of the most dysfunctional offenses we've seen, and they think like what he's calling is the problem. Like the problem is that they can't execute consistently.
Yeah,
like,
and
it doesn't really matter what
I
he
had made a
calls.
comment that they only had a handful of really downfield shots today. You know, and maybe it was more than 3. Maybe it was like 5 or whatever it was. Okay. Every one of them that he dialed up was there. You know, even like the 4th and 3 to Thornton, it was kind of a deep over. Maybe it didn't travel 20 yards, wide open.
It's there.
The Rager throw, wide open. There was another throw on the wheel route to Stevenson. I wouldn't say wide open, but he was open. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. I don't
Like,
care.
as a play caller, all you can do is get in situations where you think you can dial up some plays. Washington dialed up a few today, and they kept dropping them until they finally caught one in the end zone for a touchdown. Like, I don't know how. I don't think Billy O's been great this year. I'm not trying to tell you, well, he's done a great job, but I don't know.
But how do
if
you
can
get to
put
the
this on
point
him.
where the play calling is the
The receiver stuff too. This is going to be more things to keep. We talked about the cornerbacks, right? With Jackson and Jones. I think this kind of stuff deserves monitoring. Tyquan Thornton said he wasn't surprised by his lack of snaps today. This is according to Tamara on Twitter. Thornton referenced his injury from Friday a few times, but then followed up and said to ask Belichick whether it was performance or injury decision not to play him in the second half. So if it was an injury, wouldn't he just say, yeah, I was out?
Well, no, you're not supposed to talk about injuries, so I get it if he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
I think this is way worse than that. Go ask Belichick is way worse than, yeah, you know, I my foot was barking.
Yeah. It looks like Jack Jones ducked out too today.
Yeah, those are bad signs. Those are bad signs from young players.
Yeah. No, they are overall. There's probably a better way to handle it if you're Thornton. Yep.
Brad in Queensland, Australia. I'm happy for Mac to stay in the game. He'll make enough bad throws and bad decisions to get us his eventual replacement. I can't stand his play, but his demeanor and attitude are even worse. This team needs to be finished with him at the end of the season. So Brad is saying, don't put someone else in there that might be a little bit better and get people second-guessing about what they need to do at quarterback. Let them stay in so there's no decision to be made.
Yeah.
This is kind of brilliant, Brad. I don't mind that philosophy at all. Sander in Germany. I've been waiting for this team to tank since that Dallas loss, so I'm not sad about today's loss. However, I wonder if Mac proved his doubters right today. In my opinion, this seals the deal. Believe we need to move on at quarterback. The team is seriously lacking in talent, so I'd also love your take on your take for ideas in free agency. I didn't see many upcoming free agents I'm particularly high on.
No.
We're doing this already.
Nope. I don't know,
No,
man.
thank you.
I feel like if they had any love for Bailey Zappi, I might think that they would give him a chance. But it's everything they've done is said that they don't like him and that they don't really want to put him in there, and they've messed with him, they've cut him. You know, like I think they're going to ride Mac till the end, and I don't know if that means for next year, but
I mean, listen, overall, we're the Patriots. We deserve a better quarterback than whatever's on this roster right now.
That was Fred Kirsch, ladies and gentlemen. Not me.
James Pettigrew says, can we get a new segment for future postgame shows called Keys to the Reset? So we would just come up with keys for resetting, restarting, resetting.
Sure.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, keys to the reset.
But it has to be after a loss. That's the problem. So,
yeah.
Probably not going to happen the next 3 weeks.
I know.
Win.
When?
Oh, all right. Listen, 9-7.
10-7.
10-7. Yeah.
How about Eldred? He's got a bone to pick with Deuce. Eldred, what's the problem?
What?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing? Hey, Duke.
What?
Remember the beginning of the season, I said, why don't we trade Mac Jones and try to move up and get C.J. Stroud, and you and Fred poo-pooed it?
Well,
who's
at doing that trade?
But just so you know, that really wasn't an option.
And move up and try
Like,
to
Mac Jones wasn't getting you the second overall pick.
I remember when I said we were going to clone Brady and you didn't want to do it?
Shoot, I wanted Tom Brady to come play until he pushed him in a wheelchair, to be honest with you. But being serious, though, being serious.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying it's this, it's that. The main reason is players. You don't have the good players because BB won't pay him, won't get him. You could have Terry McClung. You worked him out. You brought him in for an interview, but you passed on him. You know, you had a bunch of receivers that you could have got and a better quarterback, but Bill stick with his guys. And if you say something, that's it. The thing is, it's performance and it's players. You got to get that alpha dog or them good players, and then this team will change around. But I'm like, end of the year, Matt got to go. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here, I'm just, man, some good throws he made, a lot of bad ones, and a lot of bad decisions, like Belma said. Double coverage, why you doing it? You could have went somewhere else a bunch of times. Yep. He didn't do it. He's scared. So he ain't got the arm strength or the mobility. So I'm with them, get another quarterback, and I like Jordan Travis out of Florida State. Y'all have a good one.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
I mean, I like him too, but I think he's like the LSU guy a little bit. They're both kind of small, Daniels and
But Mac's footwork, like when he gets in trouble,
Travis.
he has no ability to reset and get that foundation. There was one throw that he ended up with both feet parallel to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And just like
a lot
it
of
was
them
almost like he was hitting the ground with a baseball bat the way he threw it. It was the most awkward thing I've ever seen, and it's like, dude, like, you know, step into it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, you know, somebody was grabbing at his feet or anything like that.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. A lot of just, and you know, I want to watch some of the deeper throws, how much, but because he must have stepped into those. But I just, so many of them are him just standing there like parallel to the line of scrimmage, guy in his face, and he just kind of has to throw it like while he's falling away.
How about the throwaway? I think on the second to last drive toward the sideline, that
it was almost a pick.
Well, I mean, he threw it so soft that the guy actually got a chance to
right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. So hold on a second.
Hold on, Poole, please.
We got a Poole report.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we get a Poole report for?
Oh, is this on the? I bet you this is on the special teams.
Oh,
play.
okay. It's on the roughing the passer.
Oh, roughing the passer. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So evidently the Washington reporters requested the Poole report because I was wondering if this was like on the off.
Good for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I often like. It's probably better off here. Keep myself out of trouble.
All right, we'll do that instead. Hayden in Oregon wants to know, what's the problem with special teams? We addressed this at the top a little bit, but he said penalties have been an issue the last few games. Is it coaching? Do they not have enough special teams coaches? Who's in there right now? A couple of veteran coaches are supposed to be.
Yeah. Three.
Well, it was so funny on that play, that last one that caused the first down for Washington. Bill, blew up at the ref.
Oh, he was apoplectic.
Then Cam Accord and Joe Judge were on the ref. Then when they were done, Slater came over and tried to reason with the ref. It was crazy.
So this is funny. You remember the roughing the passer play, right? You remember how it kind of like the guy kind of braced the fall with his own arms?
Yeah.
So he says he was the calling. He goes, the ruling was that the defender came down with forcible contact, chest to chest. He didn't perform one of those acts to remove most of that body weight. So then there's a follow-up question about, what's the defender supposed to do coming from the weak side, sort of back turned. What's he supposed to do to avoid putting his full body weight on him? And the referee says there are two common techniques. One we call the gator roll, where he takes that player and rolls to the side so they both land on their side. That 90-degree rotation as he comes around. Or listen to this one. Or he comes down and breaks the fall first with his hands and knees, almost like a crab-like fashion on top of the quarterback.
Yeah,
which is exactly what he did.
Yeah, he slid over him. He didn't come straight down.
He slides right over him because he uses his hands right here on the ground. Right
See?
there.
Right there.
And he propels himself over the quarterback.
That's exactly
so
what
he doesn't land on him.
That's And this is where I absolutely 100% agree with Bill Belichick. Every call should be reviewable. I mean, you get a certain amount of reviews. You don't get more, but that should be a reviewable call.
I mean, they talk about it like you can make decisions like that split second. If you're coming off the edge like that, part of you is surprised to have a clear shot at the quarterback to begin with.
The guy with the ball is there. I need to tackle him, and you're supposed to think of all that crap.
In a split second.
Gator roll it. I got to gator roll it.
Brace the fall.
Right.
No, you make a play.
Tackling an alligator.
So you guys seeing this Jack Jones thing, liking a tweet? There's nothing I love more than somebody scrub their social media, but Jack Jones just liked a tweet someone sent him that said, "Yo, at President Jack, you really should have just pleaded guilty at this point.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh.
Jack. Thumbs up from Jack on that one.
He liked that tweet.
He liked it.
Okay.
You
like that.
He's like, you like that?
Don't talk to my client about how
You must be psyched to
not
go to
plead.
Germany this week, Jack, huh?
Vinny in Canada joining us on the Patriots postgame. What's up, Vinny?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Vinny.
I'll try to land the plane here pretty quick because I'm going to be long-winded. Maybe you don't agree with me, but I'm looking at this team. I mean, Belichick, greatest coach of all time, but it's also been, a few years since they've been to the big dance. Brady, and we've come a long way since Tom Brady, right? Now, when they were the old school Patriot way, it was all the unsung heroes, guys stepping up. Troy Brown playing cornerback. You had your Mike Vrabels coming in, catching the ball out of the backfield. And it seems like, do you think now because Belichick has been given the keys to the kingdom to be the coach and in charge of player personnel, he doesn't have that Scott Pioli type guy to keep him in check and be like, hey, maybe we should look at this with another set of eyes? Because it seems like he has back in the day, he may have been too quick to pull the trigger on your Lawyer Malloy or even your Drew Bledsoe, Mo Lewis, kind of, if this was today's NFL, Bledsoe probably would still the job.
You're not going to have a chance to land the plane. You're getting shot down.
Yeah.
So does Bill need another set of eyes here for all personnel
I think
decisions?
it never hurts to have good people helping you. And I think Pioli knew what he was doing, but Bill had the keys to the castle back then.
Oh, yeah.
He probably had more control back then than he has at this moment.
Oh, I don't agree with that, but I get your point. I know what your point is.
Yeah.
I do.
Yes, Paul?
People just can't. They just keep missing it. Like, yeah, you can get away with having to have Troy Brown be your sixth cornerback because he you scored 40 points and you won the game. Right. Like, when you have that guy as your quarterback, he allows you to do other things. And we can keep talking about all this other stuff. They had a lot of very good players. They had some great players. They did. Maybe they had more great players than they do now. Absolutely. It wouldn't have worked if you didn't have greatness at quarterback. They had so many close games that they won at the end because of him. It's just the way it was. The difference in those dynasty eras was home field so many times. The difference between home field and not so many times was one game. The 03 team went 14-2, right? They won at Indy on a goal line stand at the end of the game. If they lost that game, both them and Indy would have been 13-3. And the game would have been played in Indy. But Brady allows you to score 38 points and beat Indy on the road. Can you do that now?
No. And honestly, there's just no comparison between this team and those teams anymore. And to continue to hold that flame and compare these guys to what that team was and what that, the organization was at that point, it's like there are other teams out there that don't have Tom Brady that are finding a way to win games that aren't, don't just have 2 wins. I mean, Washington just traded away 2 of their best defensive players. They got Sam Howell, who all week, in Paul's words, everyone told me how much he sucked, and he just lit them up for 400 yards. So it's like,
am I wrong?
No, right?
Because I often am.
So
I'll admit.
other teams are finding ways to win more than 2 games when they don't have the greatest quarterback of all time and the greatest coach. Sometimes teams are just average and they win some and they lose some. And right now, this team can't get to that point.
But
they can't get to that win some, lose some.
That is generally what they are. Now 2-7 is not just average, but for the most, they went 10-7 2 years ago. I mean, they've been kind of average since Brady left,
and now
they're trending to a little bit below average.
Right.
George in Illinois, you're on the Patriots postgame show. This episode presented by DraftKings. What's up, George?
Hey, guys. I hate to keep harping on the Mac train, but I'm going to try and attack it from a different angle. The question is not, for me, is not so much, is he good? It's, can he be good? And I just want your thoughts on that. I say that because I look at year 1, and he had some weapons, an O-line, a good coordinator. He was good. Year 3, he had none of those things. So I'm wondering, does that strain, that 3 systems in 3 years and no help, how much irreversible damage does that do to a guy that, is that beyond repair at this point? Because I know we can win with him. We just haven't been.
Yeah,
we haven't been able to.
Well,
you know more than I do then, because I don't know you can win with him.
Well, and taking the blame out of it, what's his ceiling right now?
I mean,
can he get to be average?
No, I don't. I mean, I just think
I don't think there's much difference between the guy that we've seen this year and the guy that played his rookie year.
100%.
I really don't.
Yep.
And Fred made this point crystal clear in the offseason when we talk about this stuff ad nauseum. him playing like he did as a rookie is not going to be good enough in year 3. You need a rise. You need an improvement, a sharp improvement, if your quarterback is going to be the reason why you're able to win games.
Right.
You can continue to win games because your quarterback doesn't make mistakes like you did when he was a rookie.
Right.
You can play some bad teams with backup quarterbacks and find your way into wins that he doesn't really have a huge part of. And I think that's largely what they didn't lose today because he made mistakes. They didn't, but he doesn't make any plays.
Right, and that's at a certain point, no matter what you want to point to other than Mac, whether the weapons or the protection or all that stuff, like at some point he has to just make some plays and produce some offense.
As much as this league is, leaning toward offense, all the rules favor the offense, and defenses aren't as good as they used to be. Defenses, I think, are more sophisticated now than they ever were, and there are times when they can confuse a quarterback, and in those times, you need to have a quarterback who, like Paul said, can make a play, can run, can extend a play. Those teams that have those types of quarterbacks have an advantage over the defenses. We don't have that right now. We don't have a guy who can extend a play when the defense does a good job covering, And you need that in today's, as much as you think that defenses aren't good anymore, they are more sophisticated. And they can confuse a quarterback if you, at times.
We're having this conversation. I don't know if it was in the pregame or maybe it was someone else, but just the players that defenses now are attracting. And I think it starts in high school and college where, really talented athletes who would automatically want to be a wide receiver or a tight end. Well, if they don't grow into the tight end role, or even if they are good enough to be a receiver, say, hey, I can be a star in defense. Yeah. I can be a corner. I can be a safety. I can be, and maybe have a better chance of playing in college and making a career out of this. So I think defenses are attracting some more athletes, not just the big mean guys who play up front, but what? Oh,
John Smith, 60-yard touchdown.
Oof, when it rains, it pours.
Can't we get guys like that?
All right, one more.
He falls down.
I was just going to say, to your point, Hardy, was Keon White. Tight end initially.
Yeah, there we go. One more call before we get to the coach here. Miles in State College. What's up, Miles?
How's it going, guys?
Hey.
I just want to know, why do you guys and a lot of the callers, why do you hate Mac so much? It seems personal.
I can promise you. I can promise you, it's not personal.
I mean, for some people in caller land, it might be. Not for me.
State fans who are mad that he stomped those teams in college.
I don't care.
No, he was kind of irrelevant in college. He played 1 year. I don't.
He was a Heisman finalist and won a national title.
Yeah, I know. On one of the best college football teams that's ever taken the field. But I don't. I can just promise you, if I thought he was really good, I would tell you. I thought he was really good against Buffalo.
I don't think that's that good.
If I had a, that's out of context, Fred. If I had an agenda because I personally didn't like him, I wouldn't tell you how well I thought he played against Buffalo 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Right.
I could just promise you it's not personal.
There's
been a lot of guys in that locker room that I've loved that I've had to sit here and tell you that I didn't think they played.
Why
well.
wouldn't I want Mac to be good?
Right. It only makes our job easier.
And it makes building this team back up easier. If you've got your quarterback, then you don't have to worry about that position. I wanted him to be good. I want him to be good, but he's struggling right now.
We worked for the organization, and we're sort of tasked with coming out with fun content and trying to do different things. Why would we want the quarterback to not be good?
Yeah. Miles, maybe a question for you. What do you see in Mac other than his Heisman finalist season and national championship at Alabama that leads you to believe that he is good?
I saw a promising play as a rookie. Led him to the playoffs.
You see the same play now.
Last year, if the crazy Raiders bonanza ending doesn't happen, that's 2 years in a row that they're in the playoffs.
So whoa, stop. Why would they have won that game if that play didn't happen?
The Raiders had a touchdown that was out of bounds.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay, so you're just going to make stuff up. Okay,
that's true.
I'm not going to. There's no sense.
That was not a touchdown.
There's no sense of doing this.
That was not a touchdown.
We had 97 camera angles that showed that he was in bounds, but that's okay.
No, the opposite.
That's just wrong. And he just has no help. I
don't
think he's
poor Mac. I get it.
Brady could do it on his own.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to pull a few good men on you. Why do you like him so much?
I like him because he showed to be great in college. he was good
Okay.
as a rookie.
So do you like Zach
And you
Wilson?
think if he's good as a rookie, who with no help, maybe he could be really good with help.
Okay.
And as opposed
Did he-
to every other young quarterback.
Well, why
in the
wasn't he
league,
really
you
good
don't-
as
you
a
don't
rookie
see
then?
help.
Because he had a lot of help then. Why was he
had a
just
great
average?
He had a great coordinator, but he didn't have any weapons.
He had a
That's
great
why they couldn't
coordinator,
compete in
okay.
Those games down the stretch.
All right. Thank you, Miles.
Really
Appreciate it.
unbiased
No, listen,
analysis.
but a
there.
lot of people hang their when they're defending Mac, they hang their hat on that rookie season.
Mhm.
The fact that as a rookie,
he wasn't good enough.
Can I finish?
Yep.
He played better than every other quarterback who was drafted in the first round, which is true that season.
Yep.
And that he made the playoffs, all true. But if you really look at the games, he didn't throw into the end zone until like the 5th game of the season or something like that. They managed him heavily. They overmanaged him. I wanted them to allow him to make mistakes so he could learn. They managed him to not make mistakes. And then at the end of the season, when the rubber started to hit the road, he faded down the end of the against the better teams. And so that rookie season was okay, relatively speaking, for a rookie quarterback, but he didn't win you games.
And
he just didn't lose you games.
And let me refresh everyone's memory on this, too. After that rookie season, even in the middle of it when he was playing well before they started the downward slide, you weren't calling here and saying, hey, I think we got a quarterback for the next 10, 15 years here in New England.
Some people were. We have stacked lines on this show, so we get a lot of calls and a lot of different opinions.
I want to back up. I want to back up Fred's point right here. So because
I talk too much about the artists and the music.
Do you talk about the music?
Sometimes I do.
On the music show. I just want to back up Fred's point here. So in the second half of that season, the last 8 games, and I intentionally don't just cherry pick the losses. I mean, obviously they lost a lot of games down the stretch, but I count games like a 50-point win against Jacksonville.
Yep.
They had some wins down the stretch. I count them all. The last 8 games. Right? This is what he averaged. 19 for 30 for 213, 1.4 touchdowns, 1 interception. These numbers are now it was 19 games. It's more than that now. His average game since then was 22 for 34 for 221, 1 touchdown, 0.95 interceptions. So his passer rating was like 87.5 and 83.6. It's basically the same guy. I think they figured out the way the Patriots are playing offense, and to go all Fred on you, they realized this is not a difficult team to defend. Now, maybe if you want to say, and the caller might be right, it's none of this is on Mac because he doesn't have any help. But for whatever reason, this is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on for, I would say, 2+ years now.
Let's get to both the head coach and the quarterback. Bill Belichick is brought to you by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL, and the New England Patriots provides players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 9, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet at surface.com. Here's the head coach.
All right, well, once again, game where we had our chances, had a chance here at the end, just couldn't make enough plays, and obviously had plenty of opportunities along the way that we need to make more out of. So just a disappointing result. Just got to do a better job of making the plays when we have the opportunities to make them. It's as simple as that. So that's really about it. I mean, it's all the way across the board, all 3 units.
Hi, Bill. I was just wondering if you could go over the decision to not play Kayshon Boutte today.
Yeah, we activated the players that felt like were the best players split in the game.
End of the game, the 4th and 2 punt play. What did you see from Mac Wilson on that play? And we saw you in a verbal exchange with the officials. What did you hear from them in terms of what they saw on that play?
Yeah, you should talk to them about it.
Bill, were J.C. Jackson and Jack Jones benched to start the game?
No.
Why did Sean Wade start and then not play after the first two series?
Everybody played. They all played.
Why didn't Sean play after the first two
They all
series?
played.
Bill, back to the decision to not play Keyshawn Boutte. I know you chose who you wanted to out there and activate who you wanted, but earlier this week you said it was probably one of his best practices of the year in terms of the week. Why did you make those comments, I guess, then? What did you see during practice?
Because it was.
In what areas?
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought he had a good week of practice. That's why I said that.
Just not good enough to activate him?
Yeah, we activated the other 4 receivers. And Mike. I mean, really, Mike's our 5th receiver.
Bill, on that Mack Wilson penalty, are you anticipating that the officials might say something to a player in that situation? Hey, 3, you're over the line. Is that standard as far as you're concerned?
No.
And the Jack Jones not playing for the first quarter, that was not disciplinary in nature?
We played all the corners. I think we played all the safeties. I think we played everybody on defense.
How much on the dressing 4 receivers was it tied to the plan to go in and play a lot of the 2 tight end stuff?
Yeah, Mike's like our 5th receiver. And he played a lot.
And on the 4th down on the first drive, that ball like 39-yard line, how much discussion is there to, when you went for it, to either kick a field goal if that's within range? It looked like Chad had range in pregame, or punt, or how are you navigating that? Did you consider?
We went for it. We thought we had a good player.
Did you consider kicking?
We thought we had a good play.
Hi, Bill. I saw you were wearing a pin during the game. I was just wondering if you could explain a little bit about what that meant.
Yeah, it's a recognition of the TAPS program and the Maloney family. They was in the Navy and passed away.
Bill, over here, several times you had Sam Howell on the run, but he kept his eyes downfield and made plays. How frustrating and difficult is it to go against a quarterback like that could scramble and make plays?
Well, when the quarterback out of the pocket, then that's what they're going to do. So we kept him in the pocket a lot, but there was times when he got out, and it's not a good thing.
Coach, you're right. What was the issue with the offense sustaining drives and piecing them together, especially late in the game today?
Yeah, well, I mean, we moved the ball, but weren't able to finish as many as we needed to. Had our chances, as I said. Need to make more of those opportunities. We had plays that we just couldn't, obviously quite make. You saw them.
Bill, up 14-10 at the half. How did you think the defense played in the second half specifically?
I think defensively we had our moments, but overall there's a lot of things we need to do better.
Bill, on your left, on the Mac Jones pass play at the end of the game to Juju, you comfortable with that decision, or would you rather seen him make a different read in that spot?
No, I think that was really the read. Just don't want to lose the ball there. We're in field goal range, or it's a long kick, but the ball gets tipped up in the air and interception.
Coach, can you talk about the third down difference? I mean, Washington converted a couple of third and longs, and especially on the 3rd and 23, Sam Howell scrambled 24 yards.
Yeah, we didn't tackle well. It was obvious. Okay, all set.
Okay, yeah, all set. I'm good. I got all my questions answered, guys. Good.
So
Good.
no insight into why the cornerbacks didn't play.
They all played.
They all played. I thought Doug Kyde did a really nice job of saying, well, Sean Wade played and then didn't play again after that.
I don't get it.
He played the first 2 series of the game and then not again.
They all played.
They all played. Yes, I understand, but why did he not play after that?
Well, Bill is never going to.
Yeah, I think your mic is off.
Bill is never going to talk about a disciplinary action that he took.
Then,
so if that's the case, then But I don't know. Maybe there's a better way to handle it. But he's not going to say, "Yeah, I benched those guys." He's never going to tell you that.
Between
but
me
he
and
could-
the, you could say it's
correct.
between me and the player.
Yep.
But then that tells you that there was an issue.
No, we did what we thought was the best. Like
Right.
just saying everybody played is not answering the question.
Well, he's not going to answer the question. Period. So
Well, maybe they need to get someone who's going to answer some questions.
all right,
Like I don't know. Like I don't think that's a really.
But I
like,
think
no one asked him what the game plan
The bigger
was.
question is what's going on with this team. That 2 guys got benched, and that another guy who had his best week of practice doesn't even play.
Right.
I would be curious. That's a great way to put it. I would be curious, like if on Monday or Wednesday,
Like, I'm not saying this is the Raiders
do you have
yet.
Do you have some problems?
No, yeah, I'm not saying this is the Raiders yet, but it turned out when they had that last meeting, according to the report, that it turned into a complete bitch session.
The Raiders are 30 minutes away from having double your wins.
Well, yeah, and so I'm talking about just
No, I know.
internally.
I know what you're talking about.
So, but I'm wondering, like, are we showing those fissures, or those cracks, beyond the play on the field? I'm talking about during the week.
Right. Well, J.C. Jackson and Jack Jones took off, so I mean, they're obviously upset about something. I doubt that it's just that they didn't play the first 2 series.
Jeff Howe says they were benched due to recent performance issues per sources, but that doesn't really tell me anything.
I'm not buying it.
I don't know why you bench him for a specific time period.
I mean, if you're going to bench guys for performance issues, nobody would be playing right now.
Well,
'Cause who's playing well?
But not only that, listen.
Except for Barmore.
Both of those guys. I like Barmore too, Freddie. Both of those guys played dreadfully bad last week in Miami. I'm not saying that they didn't, but to your point.
But then you don't bench him for the first couple. What does that do?
You don't bench a guy because he wasn't playing well for the first 2 series,
right?
And then play the rest of the game,
right?
Now, if he was like maybe didn't start, but he came in as like the nickelback or something like that. Okay, well maybe they wanted to see Sean Wade in a bigger role, or something. That clearly had something.
You bench one of your key players for a couple series to start the game when they make fun of the other head coach's feet.
It's just seemed to backfire.
I'm sorry, but he benched Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl when he was unequivocally your number 1 cornerback, and he never answered why. He's not going to answer why he did this in Week 9 against the Commanders when your team.
I think the bigger question is
you guys are right.
He's not going to answer.
Right.
But what is
seriously,
what's going on?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Right. And then it did whatever it was. I mean, obviously Jack Jones I thought played terribly. I mean, in coverage he was getting lost.
He had a bad game
all the time, and then he storms out. Like, I mean, we already know he's on a short leash right now as it is. Like, is this, these the kind of fissures that start to happen when?
So Jack Jones didn't talk.
No, he left.
J.C. Jackson didn't.
Okay, so what is that when a player does that? What usually is going on? They're afraid that they're going to say something that's going to get them in trouble, right? Because they don't have anything good to say.
Yeah.
And they're not willing to just sit there and take it.
Yep.
And just put it all on themselves.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
So they're not willing to say what a team player needs to say in this. So they have to get out of there. That's bad. Something's, we got a
problem.
Could be a volatile week. Could be a volatile week. James in North Carolina. Thanks for holding, James. What do you got?
Line 3.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Not great, Bob.
Is that any better?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, much better.
All right. So, my question is this. All right, these games start and end. Well, start at least in the coaches' rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth does it feel like I'm the only one that sees that they really need to go after whoever runs the wide receiver scouting room in Pittsburgh?
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
James.
no, they seem to get good receivers, yeah.
Okay. Wilson in California. Go ahead, Wilson.
Wilson!
Wilson!
He's not there.
That's a shame.
At least that's
a
not
shame.
beeping.
Does Mac Jones say anything before we subject ourselves to 6 minutes of the quarterback? Does he say anything?
Well, we'll let the listeners be the judge of that.
I think there are some listeners that would really like to hear it, Hardy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
It's because you have a personal agenda against him.
Yeah.
That's why you don't want to hear from him.
We have an agenda that we're going to go over on, but let's listen to the quarterback. By all means, here's Mac Jones.
So, Mac, just start, I guess, big picture, just what are your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, I mean, tough game.
try to get it down to the end there, and just didn't come up with it. But we got to find ways to do better and come up with a win in those situations. And no excuses, just got to work and figure out how we can do it.
Did want to ask you at the start on the 4th down on the first drive. Can you take us back to the play with Taekwon, obviously?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like my 3rd or 4th read, and I just missed him. So I had time in the pocket, and I stepped up, and I had good feet. I just missed the throw and maybe put a little bit more air on it. But, yeah, that's a big play early in the game.
Mac, through the first 9 weeks of the season, we've seen a lot of changes on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of receivers coming in, coming out, guys like Juju coming in from injury, other guys leaving. How do you feel about your chemistry right now with your receivers and your ability for the offense to make it plays with the weapons that you have available?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's just a lot of different guys each week, but at the same time, we have a great standard that we've set. It's just trying to go do it every play. And I think there's guys out there who can make the plays, and it's my job to get the ball to them. And I have a lot of confidence in Jalen, Taekwon, Pop, Hunter, Mike, Juju, all those guys. And obviously DP wasn't there today, but the whole group is very very much so close together, and they work really hard. And it's not like we're not on the same page. It's just we're really close. We're right there. We're just a little bit short.
Mac, you've said before that you'll always remain confident in yourself, and that never wavers. But
Yeah.
has it been difficult to remain confident in the system here, just given the lack of results?
Yeah, it's tough. I think the biggest thing, like you said, is remaining confident in yourself. And when you do everything you can every day, you should have no regrets. So I have no regrets. I do need to do things better, but I'm always going to work hard and put in the hours, and that's all I can do, right? And motivate people around me to do it as well. So I'm always going to be the same person. And obviously, like you said, the results aren't there right now. It stinks, and there's no excuses.
Mac, what did you see on the final play? And you seemed like that was probably the most frustrated you've been visually this year with what resulted there.
Oh, I think Juju made a great play the play before, and we wouldn't even be in that situation. So I just went through my reads and fired it in there, and it was just a bang play. So obviously, when you lose the game, it's frustrating, and it's not on one person or one player at all. I think, like I said, Juju made some great plays, and we're all in it together, and I can throw a better ball, protect him a little bit more, and all that stuff. So I'll watch the film and, like I said, see what I can do to fix my part.
Mac, watching other teams' offenses during the course of the 9 weeks, seems like their quarterbacks have bigger windows to throw into, chance for more shot plays, more explosive plays. Do you feel like you have to be so fine in this offense, it's almost too fine because of the windows that you're throwing into?
Look, I think, like I talked about, there's no excuses, and it's hard to compare to other people, other teams. We have a standard here, and at the end of the day, we need to meet that standard and execute as best we can for me as the quarterback and all that stuff. So, I mean, that's a great point, but at the same time, we're always going to focus on us and what we can do better and the things that we need to improve and what I need to improve and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's a good question.
Back here. When you lose, you take a lot of blame. You've been doing that a lot this season, and you take it head on. But it comes a time during a game where you're putting the ball right in their hands and your receivers are dropping the football. When do you become more demanding when the ball's right there and it's a catchable ball? And I know it's a fine line, but when do you have to get on them a little bit?
Yeah, I think like we talked about, some new guys in there, and I think just for me, just keep communicating, right? Keep instilling confidence in everybody. Let them know that I trust them, because I do, right? I wouldn't throw it in there, fire it in there if I didn't think they were going to catch it or get open. So that's part of the game. Sometimes it's days like that, it's weeks like that, where it's bang plays all around the board. But at the end of the day, my focus is, like I said, try to motivate everybody, keep them motivated, and there's still a lot of room to grow. I know the record is no good right now, but we're growing together. We got a lot of young guys working hard and trying to grow.
Mac, just want to ask you guys were in 12 personnel a lot in the second half. I think that whole first drive of the third quarter, the no-huddle was 12. Was that the game plan, or was that just sort of due to maybe some personnel you were missing, like DP?
We just went on the ball for a lot of the game, which is good. I like to be on the ball, and I actually think that's something that we can expand on. So we kind of did that with the 12 personnel, like you said, and Hunter and Mike are two great football players. So you want to have great football players on the field. And for me, just how can I get them the ball? How can we have more explosive plays, skip some third downs? I felt like a lot of third downs, so got to be better there.
Mac, on the near interception to Emmanuel Forbes, I was wondering, was that just a decision you'd like to have back, or was it a miscommunication maybe with the route conversion?
Which one was that?
The near interception to Forbes, kind of in the red area, on the back shoulder.
Oh, yeah. I have to look at it. I got stuck on my read, so I was working that side, and I can probably throw a deeper ball. But yeah, whenever he was in the game, we were going to try and throw at him, but he had a good game. So he showed up and played really well. So shout out to him. All right, thanks.
There he goes. There's your quarterback after the 20-17 loss to the Commanders today at Gillette Stadium. That drops the Patriots to 2-7 on the season. Final thoughts either on Mac Jones or anything else? Fred, we begin with you.
Well, I would say throughout Mac's career here, he's always given you subtle hints at what he's really feeling, including today. He doesn't dismiss sometimes points that people bring up that he might agree, but he can't just outright say that he agrees with. He'll say, so that's a really good question, but
I would 1,000% agree with you, but I'm really curious to see what one you pulled today.
There were two of them. One about, it's tough when you have new receivers in and out to build chemistry, and then the other one putting balls on people's hands that they have to catch.
Yeah. I
don't think he did that very often today.
No, but he kind of.
But
he didn't poo-poo it.
No, he gave validity to the question by saying like.
I think Fred's 1,000% accurate.
Yeah, it's like when do you have to come down on those guys? And he says, yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's always hard on them because they're
always
new
subtly.
But I trust him.
Yeah, he's always subtly, put it on others, while taking the blame.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Deuce, what do you think?
We're on to Germany, I guess. I mean, we're excited to go there and participate and see all the Patriot fans in Germany. We'll see what happens with the game there. As for the team, they gotta regroup. I mean,
you nervous about the trip at all?
Nervous?
Yeah.
No, that's me.
Okay.
But Mike is right. I think it will be an opportunity and experience, and it's tough when you're 2-7, but at least you do get to do something that's way outside the box. Which sort of changes the narrative a little bit next week. And maybe instead of talking about Mac Jones and the offensive shortcomings and whatnot, we can, have. And I know that fans don't want to hear it now, but I think it'll be a little bit different next week just because of the venue.
What have you learned about the music in Germany?
Rammstein, who played here at Gillette
What about
Stadium.
99 Luftballons?
99 Luftballons, which was inspired by a true story that happened when a bunch of kids launched some red balloons out in the desert near Las Vegas trying to create like a UFO scare, almost like a Brady Bunch type of situation. And Nina, the band name and the singer's name, read about it, and they wrote a song that was inspired by those.
This is the type of behind the music I'm looking for.
There's more where that came from.
He gives it to you in spades.
There's more where that came from.
Do you play the music or just talk about it?
Oh, it's both. It's both. Okay. It's mostly playing, but
okay.
Do
you have guests?
Would you like to be a guest?
No.
Okay.
I think it was basement, I think.
No.
I wouldn't mind being a guest.
You could do that. I'll play Commodores and Donna
Yeah,
Summer.
there
I don't
you
know
go.
if we
I
can
didn't
do
tell
much
you
else.
had to play what I want to hear.
Well, what are you going to be able to speak knowledgeably on other than Commodores and Donna
Fair
Summer?
point.
Okay.
They probably don't want to talk about the Patriots.
He's got young boys. He can talk rap.
J. Cole?
Who?
J. Cole?
I don't know from J. Cole.
Oh, okay.
I don't play that.
So how long are we going here?
We're all done.
Not
all
a minute.
done.
Not a minute.
Somebody
longer.
wants to go home.
Pre-game 8 a.m. Sunday.
Correct. 8 a.m. Special time.
So
8 a.m.
And getting you ready for that 9:30 kick next week. But for now, we thank you for listening and watching. Your final score for the final time: Patriots 17, Commanders of Washington 20. Thanks again for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.